Okay, so who's gonna hate me more after this video, my fellow ABH stans or the Rodan and Field sellers? Hey y'all, it's me Alex. Today, the friggin' beauty community just like won't let me rest and constantly gives me feels about the brands that I care about, because I know for the longest time I was like, I hope Anastasia Beverly Hills doesn't become problematic, and well, should have knocked on wood for that one and said a lot more prayers, because here we are today. That was not a good enough introduction for me to actually tell you what's going on. Today I'm gonna do a get ready with me talking about commentary on the current Anastasia Beverly Hills and Rodan and Fields collab that is pissing off Twitter, Reddit, me, God, probably. I'm just gonna get ready. I'm gonna use the Midas Cosmetics Green Tea Macchiato palette. I'm actually gonna have a little video up on this collection later this week, hopefully. Fingers crossed, say a prayer. So if you don't know what is going on, Anastasia Beverly Hills released a little brow product collab with the multi-level marketing scam Rodan and Fields. If you don't know why multi-level marketing is a scam, it is because their actual profit model has nothing to do with actually selling to people, but by rather recruiting people to be employees and scamming them out of their money, and they predominantly prey on people such as single mothers who need to be able to work from home, and they ruin people's lives. That, I think, is a decent enough background on why multi-level marketing is bad. Rodan and Fields is a brand that falls under the multi-level marketing umbrella. Other examples of brands that are multi-level marketing are things like Mary Kay, Avon, LuLaRoe, Scentsy, 31. I'm trying to think what every girl who bullied me in high school was trying to sell me recently. Stuff like that. I think you get the picture. Well, they announced a collaboration with Anastasia Beverly Hills that was like a kit of like favorite ABH brow products or something like that. I'm not entirely sure, as I don't follow the Rodan and Fields Instagram or anything like that because I like my sanity. So understandably, us Anastasia Beverly Hills fans got real upset over that because multi-level marketing companies, like I said before, ruin people's lives. I have been having some thoughts on how ABH has kind of, the direction the company has gone over the past year or so, because I know a lot of people were discussing how quickly all of the Norvina palettes came out last year, and I also have similar issues with that in that I think the products themselves are very, very beautiful, and honestly, if they were released a little bit more slowly, you know, I would get them because they genuinely appeal to me, and I love the color schemes, but alas, I'm a graduate student, and so I do not want to buy three $60 palettes all at once. Even if my heart says yes, my wallet says no, so I also say no. A lot of people have complained about that, and seemingly Norvina took that to heart by saying there would only be like 4 palette releases this year, which I think was a really good move on her part. While I don't entirely buy the palettes leaking and like her not knowing what the market wanted, overall it seemed as though she was taking consumer feedback into account, which I think that is the most I can ask, because I think we're all human beings and everyone makes mistakes in all of the things that they do, so I want to allow for like grace and all of that shit. Anyway, back to the Rodan and Fields thing. When this was released, a lot of people got upset, rightfully so, and Norvina went on a Twitter rant saying, oh my gosh, I didn't know, like, this is what multi-level marketing was, which I'm not sure if I entirely buy, and said she was calling off the collab immediately. She was like, I'm not even consulting with anyone, we're saying no to this. And I'm like, okay, well that's good, like that she's taking consumer feedback into account, because you know what, if it is a genuine mistake, then go right ahead, whatever. And even if it wasn't, again, I think it's good to take customer feedback into account, and sometimes that is the best thing we can ask for. However, she has since gone back on Twitter with a notes app statement in true beauty guru fashion. Basically said a lot of things. Well, she said a lot of words, but I don't know as much about the substance. But that basically kind of boiled down to, hey, this was a test run thing with Rodan and Fields, and things are already in like the seller's possession and we can't get them back. This was meant to be a limited test run. It was only meant to run through February 13th, so we're just gonna like do things until they sell out, which kind of goes back on what was originally stated. Now she was, of course, she was very, very hasty in automatically kind of saying, yeah, I'm getting rid of this, we're not doing this, without even consulting the people involved. And by the way, one of the people involved was Miss Anastasia herself, as in Norvina's mom. So I think we need to take that into account, because she had, apparently the collection was curated by her, which would make me really happy if it was a collab with a brand that had integrity. All of that has kind of bothered me a bit as someone who is admittedly an Anastasia Beverly Hills apologist, basically, because I have been kind of excusing a lot of things over the last year because I think they're cute and I really like them as a brand. All of their products that I own, I really enjoy. In all of that, I'm having my own thoughts and opinions, and I want to say no to ABH for a bit. And it makes me sad because I think that they were a brand that used to have a lot of artistic integrity. I forgot to mention, Rodan and Fields and Anastasia Beverly Hills have the same investor. So there's that too. So they have the same investor, and I do admit that, like, it does make sense that they couldn't just pull everything. And I'm not organized by any means because I haven't filmed a commentary video in a minute. So I'm trying to, like, be as good as possible at this. They can't just, like, storm the Rodan and Fields whatever where they have all of the products if the products are already in their possession and if they're in, like, the representative's possession. But I have such a hard time believing that, like, Norvina didn't know. One, she claimed she didn't know about the collab, and I thought she was, like, one of the heads of the company, so I would like to think that maybe she had some involvement beyond making her own little line. So I have a hard time believing that. I also have a hard time believing that she didn't know what a multi-level marketing company was. I've known what multi-level marketing was since I was like 13, and my hairdresser had an Avon catalog that my mom let me buy a little lipstick palette from. So I know what multi-level marketing is. I've known for a significantly long time. So I have a hard time believing that she didn't. So that's another thing that has kind of been like, whatever, on my list. All of these things together, and the fact that they were so vague about what was actually going on and talking about, like, we want to pull it but we can't pull it, and I didn't know what this was and I didn't know what that was, because if we're being honest, when I originally read Norvina's notes app statement, I was like, okay, that's cool, taking it at face value, but at that time, that was like yesterday, and I spent a good portion of yesterday in bed because I am chronically ill and I was having a bad day yesterday and I didn't want to leave bed, and so my brain was foggy. But the fact that that was the kind of statement that made me have to look at it 2 or 3 times and then read other people's thoughts as to what, like, that statement said, it just feels so shady, because I think she was giving the impression that she was being open and honest about, like, transparency and the brand, but in reality that was all just like this one big confusing thing to try and confuse the consumers out of really thinking critically about what was going on behind the scenes of the ABH and Rodan and Fields collab. And that's what pisses me off, is because they're not actually calling it off. They're trying to make it look like they're calling it off without actually calling it off. And the fact that apparently the CEO of this big-ass company, Anastasia Beverly Hills, that was previously so reputable, didn't know and didn't bother to do any research into the company that they were collaborating with, claimed they didn't know that they were collaborating with that company, and then tries to defend themselves on Twitter when in reality all we could have used is saying, like, just some friggin' transparency. You don't have to fake transparency. You know, if you are actually an honest and transparent person, and that's what's been so disappointing to me about Anastasia over the past year. It's like, between that and the palette leaks, alleged palette leaks that I don't claim to believe, because quite frankly, I've always been led to believe that if you have that many leaks, you need to call a friggin' plumber. It just has really diminished the brand in my eyes, and it's so disappointing because they were always a brand that I would go to when I wanted a high quality product. As an ABH apologist and stan, I am going to take a break from buying from them. I was originally thinking of getting their mini Norvina 3 palette because that color scheme genuinely appeals to me. I think it's quite beautiful, but I don't think I am going to buy that right now. I think perhaps if Norvina can keep the brand out of drama for like a year, and I don't mean like petty drama, you know, of like, oh, this brand released like a color scheme that wasn't appealing or anything like that, like where we complain about neutral palettes. Like, that's fine. Release whatever freaking neutral palettes that you want. If she can keep the brand from having like supposed leaks and actually doing her market research on the companies that she works with instead of claiming that she didn't know, or even just owning up to the fact that she almost definitely did her research about Rodan and Fields and decided that the profits would be better than the backlash, because that's what I'm suspecting, then maybe I will consider buying from them again. But right now, it pains me, but I really don't think that right now the brand Anastasia Beverly Hills has enough integrity for me to be able to justify buying it. I was considering getting the mini Norvina 3 and then that kind of being my last hurrah with the brand and kind of being like the last thing I buy from them for a long time, but I've kind of realized that that's something that I would buy and then feel so bad about owning that I would never use it on my channel. So as much as that pains me because that's a first color scheme in any sort of mainstream brand that has really appealed to me in a very, very long time, and I was really, really excited about it, I'm gonna have to say no. And that's so petty too, because it's just makeup, and I shouldn't be so dramatic about like, oh, I can't get this 9-pen palette that has blues and reds and greens. It's just makeup. It is just makeup. So I shouldn't be so dramatic about that. I am gonna keep using what I have on camera because I own a lot of Anastasia Beverly Hills. So I don't need to deprive myself, and I don't need to deprive y'all of content. Maybe there are lots of other brands that deserve my money more right now. I want to see them stay out of drama. I want to see them behaving the way they were before, because clearly they were capable of it. I think it was more when Norvina kind of got involved that things went downhill, and I feel so bad saying that because I think she has really good like artistic direction and I think she has a really good creative eye, but I don't think the woman has business sense, and that makes me really sad because I know she has her Twitter following of stans, and I admittedly used to be one of them because I do think she's such a creative person, but I don't think that necessarily makes up for the fact that she's made a lot of bad business decisions that make me feel very put off from the brand. So there's that. So yeah, I'm thinking for me personally, I just want them to stay out of drama, and then I'll consider buying from them in like maybe a year, see how it is, which is sad, but also like save my money, you know. And I was also thinking about doing a video of duping the little mini Norvina 3 palette with things that I already own. I almost considered doing it for today's video, but I want to be able to do a little bit more in-depth look at my eyeshadows. That way I can get the closest color dupes as possible, as opposed to me just kind of like jumping into it. I'm going to be duping it with stuff from other palettes because I don't own that many other single eyeshadows, but I think that would be a really fun way for me to like also convince myself like I'm not missing out by not owning that palette. So anyway, I applied lipstick before realizing that my camera had like cut off, so I used Milani 69. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm gonna say a little prayer before uploading it that the ABH and Rodan and Fields stands just like don't come after me, because both of those groups scare me. But hey, if they do, engagement is engagement, my friends. Let me know how you're feeling about all of this, because this just makes me feel really put off of a brand that I really liked, and I think that's why I'm so like up in arms about this, is because Anastasia was a brand that I really, really respected for a long, long time. This is not something they would have done 2 or 3 years ago when I had originally tried them, so I think it's just overall really, really disappointing. So let me know what you're thinking, and I'll be back to my regularly scheduled makeup content. Actually, my next video is going to be me doing a 3 looks 3 palettes using the little Midas Cosmetics coffee collection, so that's going to be a fun time. We're going to go back to fun stuff instead of the heavy drama and multi-level marketing ruining people's lives. So yeah, don't buy into that stuff. Don't buy into things that ruin people's lives. Don't buy into consumerism that makes you feel icky. And chances are, if you see one palette that you like, you might already own it in another formula. That is it. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe down below if you want to see more videos from me. And I will see you on my next one. Hope y'all have a wonderful day. Bye!